Hi, Caitlin. It's Mrs. Lucas. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I just wanted to help you with your worksheet super quick. So let's get started. When you take a look at problem number 1, there's basically 2 steps to doing each of these problems. The first thing you would want to do is factor the top and bottom, or the numerator and denominator of your rational expression. So if we look at the top, you're really good at this top method here. We would take out a greatest common factor. So the first thing I would do is just kind of take a look at the 3x and a look at the 27, and I would ask myself, what do they have in common? And I know that 3x is divisible by 3, and I also know that 27 is divisible by 3. And for that reason, I could take the 3 out. We're going to move that x there for a second, scratch that off. I'm going to take the 3 out, and then I'm going to go ahead and sort of think about the distributive property in reverse. So I ask myself, 3 times what gets me back to 3x? And if you'll recall, 3 times x is another way of saying 3x. So when I say 3 times what gets me back to 3x, that's just an x. And I bring across my minus, and then I ask myself, 3 times what gets me back to this 27 right here, and that's 9. I would go ahead and do the same on the bottom, and as I look at it right now, I ask myself, does this x and this 9 have anything in common? And since I don't necessarily know any factors of x, because it's an unknown, it's a variable, I have to say no. So what's on the bottom is x minus 9. And do you see that magic that happened right there? The x minus 9 on the top matches the factor of x minus 9 on the bottom. Hence, this x minus 9 over x minus 9 just makes 1 when we divide it. Well, we don't really need to write the 1 there, so we cross off the x minus 9 on top and the x minus 9 on the bottom, and then what's left over as our answer is 3. So you basically just cross off the common factors in the numerator and denominator that would make a factor of 1, and then write down what you have left over. So let's try it again, maybe on this problem number 8 over here. So as I look at this numerator, once again, I do see a common factor. I see that the term x squared and 3x both have an x in them. So I would take the x out, bring across my minus, and I ask myself, x times what gets me back to x squared? And x times x gets me back to x squared. The next thing I would ask myself is, x times what gets me back to 3x? And the answer to that is just 3. On the bottom, you might consider doing our AC grouping method for factoring. So, we're going to go ahead and do our, 1 times negative 3. And I'll just write this down here. That's negative 3. And we ask ourselves, what multiplies to give us negative 3 that would then add to negative 2. And that's just your negative 3x and your 1x. So we would go ahead and rewrite this particular trinomial right here, this guy right here, this x squared minus 2x minus 3. I'm just going to rewrite it. It's now going to become, I'll bring the x squared down that's out in front. So bring down that x squared. And then the minus 2x is going to be just that minus 3x plus 1x that we just found from here. And then I would bring down this minus 3 right there. And then I group it. Pull my x out of the front, and I have x minus 3. Pull a 1 out of the back binomial, and that's x minus 3. And then we have our repeating binomial factor of x minus 3. So those go away, and then I have x plus 1 left over. So this denominator that we just were working with here, this one right here, is now going to be replaced with its factored version, which is this down here. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in. So that's going to be x minus 3 over x plus 1. And then from here, it's basically just a game of matching. We could definitely just take some time to read the factors on the top and read the factors on the bottom. And what I notice is that I have an x minus 3 on the top and an x minus 3 on the bottom. So I'm allowed to go ahead and cancel those and write what I have left over. So left over on the top, I have an x. And left over on the bottom, I have an x plus 1. And that's your answer. Just to let you know, you never want to cancel anything touching a plus or a minus. So we can't actually cancel these x's right here. They're what you call terms. So we're only ever allowed to cancel common factors. In other words, things touching multiplication. So that's a little tip there. So things touching multiplication can cancel, but things touching plus and minus signs, you can't just go ahead and cancel those. So I certainly hope that helps, Caitlin. I hope you have a great day.